guys, welcome to our 6th virtual yoga class together as a town, right? Day 27 of quarantining. I start counting with the Saturday after school got out, so tomorrow will be day 28, full 4 weeks. Valdez Davises are doing pretty good. Everyone's healthy. Today we made homemade tortillas. They were a disaster. This is my girl. I didn't put the gate up, so she might be part of our class today. What else did we do today? Oh, the dog and I are making TikToks because that's what we do now. And if you were outside like an hour and a half ago, you would have seen that it was snowing. It was legit snowing. I mean, like, what is there to even say about that? If you know me, you know I hate winter. I hate snow. I hate ice. I hate being cold. I'm a summer girl. Global pandemic and snowing. I can't think of anything that could be more horrific in my life than those two things at the same time. So there's that. So what we're going to do today, because it's colder and it's windier, I say this in all of my classes probably every time the seasons change, but my practice changes with the seasons. My practice is more energetic and more lively and a little more rigorous in the warmer months when I'm feeling looser and everything's feeling longer. And then in the winter and in the fall, I tend to want to do more really deep stretching and just go deeper into poses to get more of a benefit that targets very specific areas. So that's what we're going to do today. We're not going to do a huge variety of things, but we're going to do a lot of deep things. And I hope that because I'm feeling like that's what I need today, maybe that's what you guys are feeling like you need as well. Alex and I are doing these ridiculous workouts online. I'm so sore right now. I'm sore all down my side bodies, like all down here. Thank you, Diane and Karen Rom, for introducing us to Tabata workouts. It's this crazy 20 minutes. You work like a dog for like 20 seconds, and then you get 10 seconds off, and then 20 seconds, then 10 seconds off, and you do it in sets, and you do kind of basic things like push-ups and bicycle it, like holding plank, things that are all doable, but you're moving so quickly through them that you can't catch your breath sometimes, and it's crazy. And then suddenly it's over, and the guy's like, "Oh, great job, get a drink," and you're like, "Oh, I hate you." So we're doing that, and we're walking a lot, and I'm just kind of feeling tight, and the cold weather today didn't help. So today we're just going to go deep into some poses that will hopefully lengthen and stretch and just feel really good. So lie on your backs, get comfy on your mat. Let me move my girl. This is my best friend. Hi. Okay, so lie on your back, arms out at your sides, palms up. Close your eyes. If they're not, some people instinctively, when they lay on their mats, they instinctively get comfy. They close their eyes. They kind of settle into the whole entire thing. They know that what they're doing is going to feel really good, and they instinctively know how to get into that. But not everybody can relax that easy. Hey, stop it, or you're going to have to go in another room. Don't be a jerk in front of everyone. Cal. So lay on your backs, eyes closed, arms out at your sides, palms up, right? I always encourage palms up because it helps to soften the shoulders without you doing a lot. It already opens your shoulders, and you don't have to put a lot of effort into that, which is kind of nice and feels really good. Take some deep breaths. Just breathe deeply. I encourage yoga breathing, which is in through the nose, out through the nose. But if that just doesn't feel right or comfortable or good, then don't do that. Don't do that. Do whatever feels best. But breathe deep. So regardless of how you're taking your inhale and your exhale, draw the breath in deep. Draw it into the low belly. Don't stop here and take short breaths. Take a big drink of air, a big gulp of air. Hold it down low. Count for whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, however long you're comfortable counting, and then slowly exhale the breath back out. And find a rhythm with your breath that sort of relaxes you and calms you, almost like, you know how you can buy sound machines that are the sound of the ocean or the sound of the breeze in a meadow in July. Try to find a rhythm with your breath that's sort of like a soothing, calming, relaxing sound that if you were listening to it on your phone would just lull you into this really nice place, right? That's what you want to do. Notice how you're feeling. Start at the top of your head, work your way down your body. Notice if you're feeling at all headachy or sinusy, or if you slept wrong and maybe your neck feels a little bit weird. Don't chew my mat. That's my favorite mat, miss. She's a puppy, so she's still teething, and it's a bit of an issue. I've never had a dog before. I didn't expect her to teeth. It's gross. Cal, I have to give her another mat so she can chew on one I don't like. Here, go chew. Go chew. Perfect. So, with your breath, with your arms out at your sides, with your shoulders relaxing, work your way down your body, headachy, sinusy, tight shoulders. Maybe you've been working out differently like Alex and I have, and you're feeling some pulling in the back, side bodies from whatever, push-ups, sit-ups, whatever. Maybe you're cleaning out closets and you just stretched really weird and you pulled something. That's the kind of thing you want to take notice of before you start your practice, so that as you're moving through your practice, you can decide if there are things that you want to go deeper into or maybe pull back a little bit. But you have to take stock of how you're feeling first and then just go with that. So I thought it would be cute to have the dog, kind of like a family yoga. Probably won't do it again, but now she's here, and getting her out of here would be a bigger problem than I think having her here. So we're just gonna let her chew on that mat I threw at her that I don't really like anyway, and hopefully she'll cooperate for us. So, all right, from where you are, keep your arms out, palms up. I want you to pull your feet in and bring the soles of your feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. So I'm not laying on my back so that I can talk to you, but you're going to lay on your back and you're going to do what I'm doing with my feet and with my legs. Pull the feet in, soles of the feet together, get the heels close to the pelvic area. Sometimes people like to move their whole torso down to meet the heels. Other times people like to pull the feet in, and that's how they close the gap. But just do what you can to get the legs in as close as you can. And when you bring them in close, your knees are going to lift, right? They're going to lift because muscularly, that's just what the inner thigh and groin muscles want to do. But as you sit in this pose, and maybe it feels super uncomfortable, as you sit in this pose, the muscles will start to soften and elongate, and the knees will start to lower. And they may never drop all the way down. Some people can just go all the way to the floor. Not me. My right hip is always tight, so that knee's always higher. But in general, my hips are tight. So if you're like me, your knees are always going to sit up higher. But you want to try to be very conscious of what you're feeling in that thigh crease, right? Because you're probably feeling a muscular tension there, and you want to do your best to not let that take over your pose. You want to do your best to take a big breath in, and on your exhale, let the knees soften and just let them drop to wherever they're comfortable dropping. Now with your arms, you've got them out at your sides, palms up. I want you to bring them into cactus. So if I was lying on my back, my arms would be more like this, like more of a 90 degree. But the trick with this is that you want the backs of your hands and the backs of your wrists to stay flat on the floor. So if they're not, and you've got space, then you might need to widen the angle and move the hands out to the sides a little. But you want a little bit of an angle there and not quite a totally straight arm. Okay? Find your breath. Keep going with your breath. Oh my gosh, we just got back from a nice 2.5 mile walk. I thought she'd be super chill, super relaxed. No. It's like having a toddler confined in a house for 27 days. Let your feet slowly start to come apart and stretch your legs out long in front of you again. And if your arms are comfortable in the cactus, leave them there. If they're not, bring them out into the big T, right? So there's always options in yoga. That's one of the best things about yoga. There's always options, and yoga will always mold itself around where you are in that day. So the more you practice and the more you start to figure out options, and the more maybe a teacher gives you options or you figure them out on your own, you can always individualize your practice for how you're feeling that day. Because if you practice Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, the way you feel on Monday isn't necessarily the way you're going to feel on Thursday. So you're not really going to be able to do the same things, but you can kind of do the same things if you figure out how to, you know, shape change them, shape shift them, if that makes sense. So, okay, I'm going to lie on my back so that you can see what to do. And then I'm probably going to end up sitting up and talking to you most of the time, just so that I know that you're hearing what I'm saying. Lay on your backs. The dog might decide to bite my ponytail when I do this. So let's see how this goes. Okay, on your back, your left ankle is going to cross over your right knee. Got it? And then your right leg is going to go straight up in the air. Reach behind your right leg. So one hand in between, one hand behind. Head goes down on the floor. Pull the toes down, lift out through the heels on both legs. And then start to pull your legs in towards you. Right? So you're pulling in towards you, and you're feeling this as a stretch in the back of the right hamstring, but also in the back of the left hip. Hi, puppy. Hey, puppy. So pull everything in towards you, but flex your feet. So flexing your feet has you pulling the toes down and lifting the heels high, right? Toes down, heels high. When you flex the foot, you allow everything in the leg to move out of the hip and create some space in the hip socket. And that's what you want to do here. This is a really good stretch for anything sciatic or piriformis as well, because it really targets that curve that goes down the hamstring and around the back of the hip. Just gonna eat this mat. I don't even care. Nice deep breath in. Exhale the breath, and then lower the legs to the floor, lay out long, arms out into either, so now the options come into play, either cactus or the big T, you decide. And find your breath. And take stock of how you're feeling on one side versus the other, because sometimes when you do a pose that you have to do bilaterally, you have to do it on each side, it's kind of nice to pause in the middle and notice how one side's feeling compared to the one that you didn't do it on yet. Like if you already did the right, maybe the left side all of a sudden feels really crazy, oh my gosh, compared to the other side, right? All right, so now we're gonna do the opposite. So now lie on your backs again, you already are, right? Bend your knees, feet on the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Extend the left leg straight up in the air, and then reach one hand in between your legs in that triangle space. Reach the other hand around the back of the left thigh. And if you can't grasp fingers, then don't worry about it. You can hold pants. You can get a handful of your leggings and hold on to that. You can do whatever. You can use a strap for this if that makes it easier for you. But just get a grip on something so that you're able to pull the legs in towards you. That's what you want to do here. What are you doing? This isn't working, miss. The dog and I made a TikTok today. A doggy TikTok. TikTok is my brother and I's new obsession. It's they're little videos that people make. There's a lot of dance ones. There's a lot of singing ones. They're They're just silly and they just kind of make you feel good. There's nothing mean-spirited or angry about TikToks. It's a nice way to end your day. I lay in bed and I laugh. So, all right, lower that leg to the floor. Both legs are out long in front of you. Arms are back into the big T with the palms facing up. And you're finding your breath again. This is the weird part about teaching classes like this. It's different when I'm moving through the class and doing it with you, but when I have a lot of instruction to give and I just want you to be able to listen to what I'm saying as you're moving, I kind of feel ridiculous. Here in my living room on my mat, just talking to my phone. I hope you guys are liking these classes. I hope they're making you feel good. 1 or 2 more deep breaths in. There's pieces of blue yoga mat all over the rug right now from the dog. These are gonna come out when we're walking, if you know what I mean. Hi. All right, so legs down. Come on over onto hands and knees. Right, let's do some cat and cow. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Nice and wide. Curl your toes. You know what? No, we don't have to curl our toes under. You don't have to curl them under. You can if you want to. Just play with that for a second. When your toes are curled under and you're pressing down into the mat, it energizes the calf muscles, right? When your toes are out flat and they're just on top of the mat, your legs aren't really muscularly doing anything. So it's up to you. You know, we're doing a class that's more therapeutic deep stretches today. So if you want to keep your legs out long in front of you, that's fine. If you're used to curling them under like I am, then you can do that. But whatever you want. Whatever you want. So fingers are spread nice and wide. Feet are in whatever position you want them in. She left. Thank goodness. Okay, ready? Start to cat and cow. So as you inhale, you press your spine up towards the ceiling and you drop your head. As you exhale, you arch your back and you look up. And remember, I've said this I think in every video, and I say this in real life all the time, try to exaggerate your movements because it'll feel better for you. Okay? Inhale. Exhale. And just move on your own breath a little here. Go a little faster, go a little slower. Try to hit every part on your spine and figure out how quickly or slowly you need to do this in order to do that. And then match it to your breath if you can, if that makes sense. Okay, let's come to a tabletop position. We're just going to come into a simple balance pose. We might have done this one already, but your right arm is going to come out in front of you, palm up. Left leg is extending behind you. It's no higher than your hip, and you're finding something to look at in front of you that's not moving. In yoga, that's called a drisdi. Nice deep breath in. Exhale the breath, hand to the floor, knee down. Same thing on the other side. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Reach out with your, oh my gosh. I'm watching myself move. It's making me nuts. Reach out with your fingertips. Reach out with the bottom of your foot. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. Hand to the floor, knee to the floor, and then back into your wide knee child's pose. So big toes touch, knees go wide, hips press back, forehead, chin, chest, something on the floor, on the mat. So from here, we're going to come into a shoulder opener. It's an awkward pose. You may love it, you may hate it, you may never ever want to do it again. I don't tend to teach it often in my real life classes because I don't particularly like it, but I think it's a good one. So we're gonna start We're gonna do it in 2 parts, okay? We're gonna come down onto the crown of our head on our mat and bring our hands behind our back, interlace our fingers, and just open the front of our shoulders very simply, okay? So let's do that. Crown of the head down, hands small of your back, squeeze the palms together, and start to lift. I think she's eating my hair. Hi, best friend. Okay. Hands down. You just missed the dog and I making out. Hey, stop. You're embarrassing yourself and you're gonna have to go away. Callie, stop. Go sit. Now we're gonna come into the weird pose called thread the needle. This is not thread the needle, although it looks kind of similar with your butt up in the air. Okay, hands and knees, okay? Hands and knees. Here, let's get your bone, okay? Oh my goodness. Here, Cal, go get that. Oh, that worked well, right? Do you see that? All right, so hands and knees. This one you do want to curl your toes under, but you may find that you want to adjust that as we go through the pose. So we're going to come down onto the right temple, this part of your head. That's going to be on the mat. And you're going to feel like you're sliding forward. So sometimes I know for me, if I open my knees a little and I sit my hips back and then bring my head down to the mat, it puts me in a different place and helps me to balance. Callie, you're showing everybody your very worst side. Stop. Stop. She's in charge of our life. Here. Go. All right, so temple to the floor, and then play with this, like I said, maybe widen your knees, maybe press your hips back, temple to the floor. That's the first thing you're gonna do. But when you bring the temple down, we're coming onto the right temple. The right arm is going to go under you and straight out to your side, okay? So temple down, arm out, whew. Oh my gosh. Arm out, palm up. I think I have to gate the dog, so I'll be back in a second. Cal, oh my gosh. Come here. This is so awkward. This doesn't happen in real classes. Come on, in. I don't do things like that in my regular classes, I promise. All right, so temple down, arm out, palm up. Now, from here, bring your left hand to your left hip and start to move your elbow back behind you. And then maybe extend the left arm straight up. And if you want to take it further with that left arm, wrap your arm around you, reach for your right kidney. And then arm up and down to the ground. Okay, so what that pose does with the arm that's on the ground out in front of you is it opens up the back of that shoulder, which is kind of a tricky spot to open. So any pose you can do that targets a tricky spot, even if it's not a comfortable pose, it's a good pose, right? So same thing on the other side, because this is one of those bilateral poses where you have to do each side individually and not just a midline. So down onto the left temple, left arm is going to come straight out underneath you with the palm up. Find your position. How you worked best on the other side may not be what works best on this side, but it may be, so play with that. Arm out, down on the temple. Bring the right hand to the right hip and move it behind you a little bit. And then extend up. And then if you're comfortable, take the wrap, reach for the left kidney. And then extend up and bring it down. That's so bad, just not so great, but good for you. So now we're gonna sit. If you have a little blanket or a towel or something that you can fold up to sit on, you wanna put it right underneath the edge of your butt like you're gonna fall off of it, but it gives you just enough lift to help you sit up really straight and not feel like you have to round your back at all. So if you need to take a second and grab something, do that, okay? I have lots of Mexican blankets for that purpose. My brother was a naval pilot after college for a couple years, and he was deployed all over the place in the Gulf of Mexico. And my dad would go meet him, and they'd end up in weird places in Mexico in ports, and my dad would always bring me home Mexican blankets for yoga. So mine are authentic from Mexico. They've been washed a million times, but whatever. But if you have something, put it underneath your butt, and then take your hands. You're gonna get handsy with yourself. Reach underneath you. Pull your butt cheeks out to the sides so that you're sitting up really straight and tall, and you feel like you're sitting on the bones. That's what you want there. Okay, legs are wide, feet are flexed. Pull the toes in, press out through the heels. Oh my gosh, it's so windy out. I can see the trees blowing. Crazy. Let's reach up, interlace your fingers, press up, up, up. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, separate the hands, and on your exhale, start to fold forward, coming to where you're comfortable. We talked about this a couple classes ago. It's hard to keep track of the time frames, right? Like every time, like time doesn't matter anymore, you know? You're not coming forward and rounding the head towards the mat. You're coming forward with an arched back and your heart coming forward, right? So fingers are spread wide, palms are down, forearms are down, feet are flexed, and you're just lengthening out from your low back through the crown of your head. Nice deep breathing here, inhaling and exhaling. See if you can walk out a little bit deeper. Walk your hands over towards the right foot. So there's different ways to do this. We did it a very specific way a few weeks ago. We're not going to do it very specific today because we just want to get a good stretch. So grab anything you can in the lower leg area and just pull yourself down towards the knee. Try to keep the back of that leg from bumping up, right? You want to press down. You're flexing that foot. You want to press down into the ground with the whole length of the back of that leg and try to keep a big gap from happening in the back of your knee. It may happen a little bit on its own, but try to keep it from happening as best as you can by muscularly engaging to the floor, okay? And once you're down in the pose, find your breath, stick with it, and try to find that rhythmic breath that you were trying to get in the beginning that kind of calms you and relaxes you and sounds a little like a sound spa from Brookstone. All right, stay low, right? We're low here. We're going to stay low. We're going to walk our hands over, staying low, going to the other side, holding whatever you're comfortable holding. And again, pulling your face down towards your knee, but trying to keep the back of the leg from bubbling up. Pull the toes back, press out through the heel. and then press down through the back of the leg. So it's a very muscular pose, even though it doesn't look super muscular, it just looks like a forward bend. All right, stay low. Come back to the middle of the mat. Lower down to where you're comfortable. Remember, it's your heart that's going forward, not the crown of your head rounding. And then come on up. So we're going to come into a twist here. Let's see, we have a couple options. Let's do a bent leg twist. So you are going to bend your legs in and out to one side. You can decide which direction you want to go in first, because there's always instinctively going to be a direction that your body just feels better moving in. And sometimes it's kind of nice to do the good side first. So you decide first. So I've got my legs going to the right, which means that I'm going to twist to my left. So I'm going to sit up straight and tall in my pelvic girdle, right? I'm going to put one hand in front of me for now. It's going to move. You know what? You can either put it in front of you or you can put it on the outside of your knee. So you decide. Those are your two options here. So I'll do my knee. Left hand is going to go behind me, but, and this may be new that I'm talking about this during these classes, but you want to do a cupcake hand. So you're going to make a little igloo shaped dome with your hand. Press into the mat with your fingertips. It's a cupcake hand because you could fit a cupcake under here and not squash it. Yogis are goofy. So make your cupcake hand. But the reason you want to do this is because if you're on your fingertips on the ground behind you, you have a better range of motion in this shoulder, and that's what you want. You want to be able to move the shoulder around and get in there nicely as part of the twist without locking anything. Okay, so right hand goes to the floor or the outside of the left knee. Cupcake hand with your left hand, fingertips behind you digging into the mat. So you sit up nice and straight. As you exhale, you start to twist, but you're twisting from your kidneys. So you're not just turning your head, you're trying to turn your whole torso into the twist so it winds up like a little tornado. Okay, so take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to twist, moving the shoulders with you, turning your head as you go, leaning a little bit into the left if you need to, and finding your twist. So with every inhale on a twist, you sit up a little straighter. And with every exhale, you twist a little bit deeper. Moving on the breath. One more big inhale. One more exhale. Twist a little deeper. That feels so good on my right side body. And then come on back to center. I love twists. I love twisting. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to switch your legs. And remember what we said earlier, a pose that feels really good on one side might not feel really good on the other side, or it might feel even better. It might be like a surprise for you. But approach the pose, my mouth is sticky. Approach the pose differently on each side. Have an open mind and have enough grace for yourself to know that you may have to do it completely different to get a really good outcome, because your right side and your left side are two different sides. You know, when I walk the dog and she sees other dogs or birds or geese near the reservoir, she goes nuts. So I have to kind of wrap the leash around my hand and hold it really tight and pull her back. There are times when she's actually like pulled me and twirled me around and it feels like my arm's gonna come out of the socket. And she's still a puppy. But if I ground down and I get a really good grip on the rope, I can actually pull her back versus her pulling me back. And I always hold it in the same hand, which was the point of my telling you this. And so that side always feels a little bit different when I'm doing certain shoulder openers, and I think that's the reason why. So if you start to notice and discern a difference between your right side and your left side, whether it's in your hips, your hamstrings, your shoulders, anything, if you think a little bit deeper into it, you may begin to realize that there's a reason for why it feels different. You know, like as a new mom, I always had diaper bags and the car seat and everything, and I always held it on my right side because that was my stronger side. But eventually it started to take a toll on that whole side of my body, and I noticed it very deeply in my yoga practice. And there's things like that every day that we do. Like we tend to carry our groceries on one side, or our handbags, or you know, anything, and it throws us off. So as you move deeper into a practice and you start to think deeper about why your body's feeling the way it does in certain poses, sometimes you can figure out the why. I love that part of yoga. I love that part. So we're twisting to the opposite side, but everybody chose their first side, so go to your opposite side. Okay? Opposite side. So if your legs are going to the left like mine are, I'm going to twist to the right. So I'm going to bring my left hand to the outside of my right knee, cupcake hand behind me with my right hand. And remember what I said, on the inhale, you sit up straight and tall in your pose. On the exhale, you find the twist. So with every inhale, you sit up straighter. With every exhale, you twist a little bit deeper, okay? So inhale and exhale into your twist. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhaling, exhaling. There's always a little bit more that you can find in a twist, even if it's like 1/8 of an inch. You know, whoever's teaching you or with you in a class may not see it, but if you feel it in your spine, then you're nailing it, right? One more big breath in, inhale, and exhale, and come on back to center. That feels good, right? I love twists. Legs out long in front of you. Oh my gosh. Okay, rock a little bit from side to side here. Super stupid and easy and like something babies do, but it feels really good. And then when you rock to your right, come down on your forearm, left arm up, reach across the room, look up under your left arm. Try to keep your left hip down on the ground and flex your feet this whole time. Big breath in. Exhale the breath. One more inhale and exhale, and come on up. Rock a little bit from side to side. I don't know why this feels good. It's just soothing, right? I don't know, it feels good. Okay, down onto your left forearm, right arm up and over. Keep the right back of the hip down on the mat and look up. Inhale and exhale, come on up. So now we're gonna walk forward. Our feet are flexed, our legs are flat. We're pressing the backs of our knees down into the mat so we don't get the mouse house. Also a very, very serious yoga term, much like cupcake hand, mouse house. You don't want a gap underneath your legs, between your legs and the mat.
Hi, it's me. I had a little glitch. I'm just gonna pick up where I left off.
I ran out of storage as I was talking to you about the mouse house. So legs are out front, right? Feet are flexed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. If you come to my real classes, things like this don't happen. I mean, I talk a lot, but I don't run out of memory because I'm not videoing. So maybe come to real classes when the pandemic is over. Legs are out in front. The mouse house is the space in the back of your knee that a mouse could crawl under. We don't want that. Flex the feet, pull the toes back, right? So this is the same as when we're doing a seated forward bend. You're not trying to get the crown of your head down. You're trying to lead with your heart towards your feet. So arms up, nice deep breath in. And on your exhale, you're going to forward bend. Reach for whatever's comfortable. If you can get your feet without the back of your legs bubbling up, then do that. If you have to bend your knees to get your feet, then don't do that. Grab your pants, put your hands on the ground, whatever works, but you don't want the knees to bubble up. So reach for wherever you're comfortable. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, you're going to start to fold forward, okay? So let's do that again. Inhale and exhale. Come on up. I love that. I like forward bending. Lie on your backs, okay? We're gonna finish with 2 poses on your back that I'm gonna talk you through because, well, no, I can demonstrate these. I think we did these maybe last week. These are just 2 of my favorite simple poses that just target the front of your hips and then a spinal twist. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we've done these in the last 27 days. Are you forgetting a lot of things? Like, I feel like I'm forgetting basic stuff that I should be able to remember, and it's just like, because like I said, days mean nothing. Like, what day is it? I don't know. What month is it? I don't know. Like, I very often don't even know what time it is sometimes, and it's fine. Like, it's all good. It's just weird, right? So lay on your backs. Let's do the front hip opener first. Knees are bent, feet are wide, right? They're as wide as your mat, if not wider. You're going to drop the right knee down towards the inside of the left foot. Arms can come out, big T, palms up. And you can stay right like this, or you can hook the left leg on the top and anchor yourself down, getting a deeper stretch. Find your breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Just a couple, just a couple. We don't need to do this forever. One more big inhale. And as you exhale, release the pose. Switch sides. So now you're going to drop the right foot down, left knee down to the inside of the right foot. And then if you want, you can stack. Find your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. One more inhale and exhale. Untwist. That was really uncomfortable for me. I think doing this weird stuff that Alex and I are doing to work out is just like scaring my muscles. I feel like everything's tight and short because it's scared. So arms are out, palms are up. Let's just come into one quick twist. Knees in, drop over to the right. You're looking straight up or towards your left hand. I don't know, do you ever feel that way? Like when you're doing something new as a workout, your muscles get scared that you're going to do it again another day, and then they get short and cranky and tight? I don't know. It's one of those things I think about. Relax. Find your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Knees up to center. Let's find a quick happy baby here in the middle of our twist. Go wide, pull down, find a little movement. And then knees in, arms out. Drop the legs to the other side and either look straight up or towards your right hand, depending on how your neck is feeling. Find your breath. I always feel like I could fall asleep in this pose. This is a really restful pose for me. And then knees up to center. Happy baby, or one hand on each knee, just going wide, applying some weightiness, finding your movement here. And from here, you can lengthen your legs out long in front of you, going all the way down until you're comfortably lying on your back and in your position for our Shavasana for just a couple minutes, okay? So we're gonna lie on our backs, arms out, palms up, big T, or closer to your body if that feels better, but try to keep your palms up just so your shoulders are encouraged to continue to open, right? Close your eyes if they're not, and find your breath. Right? You guys are going to be so good at like chill yoga breathing by the time this is all over. You're going to be so good at it. Some yoga is easier to breathe with than others. I've already been thinking about, my hair is very flyaway today, about what we're going to do for our next class together. We're going to do back bending. We're going to do a couple different back bends. All of them will have different levels, so you can make it a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger depending on how you're feeling. But back bending is a good release, and I think probably everybody can use some kind of a release, right? So back bending next Wednesday, 5 o'clock. Take a couple deep breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Let your mind wander. Think about the weekend, right? It's Easter on Sunday. Cam, my 8-year-old, is so excited about Easter. I hope I hope his basket lives up to his expectations. It's a weird Easter basket this year, but I don't know. My brother said, just tell him the bunny got COVID. I'm like, no, that's awful. That's what kids' nightmares are made of. So I think tomorrow's supposed to be gorgeous though. Like really, tomorrow's Saturday, right? Yeah, tomorrow, really sunny, almost 60. I think it's going to be a good day. So there should be lots of people out walking. So if you want to see your friends and yell Happy Easter from across the street, you have to go out and walk. Another deep breath in. Exhale the breath. And then either roll to your right hand side and come on up to sit, or just rock yourself up to sit, which is my preferred method. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Hands come to your heart in prayer, and we're going to take a deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale the breath. And one more inhale. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you for letting me into your homes for another global freaking pandemic yoga class. It sounds so crazy to say. It still sounds crazy to say global pandemic. Sounds crazy, but thank you for having me. Have a really good weekend. Have a good Easter. I hope you're able to do something and make it special for you and your family, even though it's weird. And I will see you Wednesday, or I will see you out walking on Ridge Road, okay? All right. Take care. Thank you.